After I murdered Kilgrave, all of New York City labeled me a vigilante hero that kills bad people. After I got out of prison due to me being innocent along with my wife, I was labeled a vigilante superhero, and they called Jessica Jones a vigilante too, and I said, you didn't even kill anyone, Jessica, and they are calling you a vigilante. How is that fair? I think I might sue this damn newspaper just for labeling me and you as vigilantes, knowing damn well we saved a building full of innocent people. I think I might use my mind control on them to make them do the right thing. And Jessica said, no, don't do that, just ignore them, it's not a big deal. And then a rival private investigator showed up and he said his name is Price Cheng, and unlike before, I made sure that Jessica didn't beat him up. Instead, I used my mind control on him, and then I asked him who sent you, and he said Jerry Hogarth sent me because she wants you to join our private investigator team so that her and I can make more money. And then I said, I'm very rich, look around you, this apartment is basically a bunker with something akin to a vault door. What makes you think we can't put you out of business? And then Price Cheng said, it's illegal for you to run a successful business out of your apartment, but your internet store is another story, it's legitimate. All you have to do is buy a space in our building and you can still own your business. I just want you to be our partner or something and work with us. And I said, okay, maybe we should consider it, Jessica. I mean, he's right, we are running an illegal business out of this apartment and it would make us legitimate. And then she said, well, he's kind of an asshole, but he has a point. And she said, okay, we can join him. And then I signed everything and we both became a part of Price Cheng's private investigator team, and together we took down I also arrested a lot of metahumans and I put them all in a special prison I designed with invincible metal. And after me and Jessica Jones helped the rest of the defenders take down all the crime bosses in the city, including Wilson Fisk, the people started calling me Infinity as my superhero name. They even had superhero names for the other defenders like Power Man and Iron Fist. They even started calling Jessica Jones Power Girl. We became the defenders alongside Daredevil, and then after all that, me and Jessica had more adventures with Daredevil. And then finally Professor Xavier showed up telling me ominously that a war is coming and we need your help, James Gray. And I saved the world from the Sentinel program and Oliver Trask. I killed Oliver Trask after I destroyed every last Sentinel, and I saved our world. And then finally me and Jessica Jones decided to have kids of our own, and after we closed yet another case, me and her went home to our apartment where Jessica Jones made passionate love to me for 2 days. She had sex with me in every position. She started riding my member ravenously in the cowgirl position for about 4 hours, and then I finally came, and then she sucked my 10-inch member and I came in her mouth and she swallowed my cum. And I said, oh my god baby, yes, I love you so much. And Jessica Jones said, I'm going to fuck you really hard. And then she rode my member in the reverse cowgirl position for 5 hours, and then I came inside her again, and then I had sex with her in the doggy style position for 8 hours, and then I came inside her again, and then I said I can clone myself infinitely, and she said, do it, clone yourself. And then I cloned myself with my magical powers, and I gave Jessica Jones double penetration during our sex session, and I even gave her oral pleasure many times, and she loved having sex with me so much she didn't want to stop until finally the 2 days was nearly over, and she screwed me so long she was now exhausted and sweating passionately, and she was still on top of me looking me in the eyes, and she started riding my member ravenously again. And then I came inside her again, and this time I filled her womb full of my seed, and she said, my god, I know I'm definitely pregnant now. And I said, yes ma'am, you are pregnant because I can definitely see my sperm cells already starting to become more than one baby. And she said, wow, that's incredible. And she said, is it weird that I am so turned on that I want to continue having sex with you? And I said, no problem for me, but I'm worried about you, Jessica, aren't you hungry, my love? And she said, yes, actually I am. And then I said, very well, and I created her some really good food with my powers. And she said, damn, you really made this food taste like real Taco Bell. And I said, that's because it is real Taco Bell, Jessica, please enjoy yourself, my love. And she continued eating many soft tacos, and she drank 2 Baja Blast Mountain Dews, and then I created her a Oreo McFlurry with my powers. And I said, how about dessert? And she said, I love you very much. And I said, I love you too, Jessica Jones. And she said, I'm so glad I married you.